Hi everybody, it's Patti and Debbie from Print and Pixel Studio. And the other day when we found a bunch of stamps at the thrift store, they weren't collectibles or anything, they're just stamps. But anyway, in the box were these, they're like wax paper envelopes, stamp envelopes. And we really liked them. We liked the feel of them and the sizes of them. And we thought, let's try and recreate these. Only we wanted them to be a little more vintage looking than these are. So it's kind of funny because then a couple days later on my YouTube feed came this video from, let me see, we wrote the name down, I don't want to forget. Her name is Mai, M-A-I, and her channel is Crafting on a Budget, and we'll link over to her. But it came up that she was dyeing wax paper. And so I thought, geez, this sounds like just exactly what we were looking for. So I told Debbie about it, and she watched the video, and she goes, yeah, this is it. So what you do is you take, now, one little caveat here. This coffee is not hot. You have to have hot coffee for this to work. But we're just going to show you the process of how you do it. But bear in mind that your coffee has to be hot or you're not going to have a success. And we're going to show you what happens, what the difference is between hot coffee and cold coffee in a minute. But first of all, I'm just going to show you how we did it. Some of them we just dunked in the coffee, hot coffee, and used tongs because the coffee has to be pretty warm. And the reason for that is it melts the wax on the paper and allows the coffee to dye I guess there's paper in between or however it is. It allows the color to sink into the wax paper. And then, now I lost my train of thought. And so then that's what we did. And then we took the hair dryer and we dried it. Now some of these, or one or two of them, we dried outside. And there was no really difference between the ones that we dried with the hairdryer and the ones that we dried outside. So we just continued on with the hairdryer after we found that to be true. So anyway, you just dip them in, take them out, lay them flat, and start drying with a hairdryer. And it just takes a couple minutes. They dry really fast. And then to get them nice and flat, after in fact, they were not totally dry, were they, Deb? They were a little bit damp. And then we ironed them, and we'll show you the results to that. Another way that we did it is we crumpled them up, put them in the coffee dye, and now we let it set longer. We let it set, I don't know, 5 minutes or so, I'd say, and just kind of like, mushed them around, turned them around so they got even coverage on both sides. Then took them out, kind of like squeezed them out a little bit. And like I say, be very careful because you're going to want hot water and you don't want to burn your fingers. So we used tongs to pull them out. And then when they cooled off enough, we wrung them out. And the same process, dried them with the hair dryer and then ironed them flat. So it's very easy to do. And you could feel right away the difference in consistency. Even with this cold bath, I could feel it. Okay, so let me get this out of the way, and I'll show you what we got here. Yeah, did you give me a paper towel? I guess I forgot to bring one. Thanks. Okay, so here's what you get. Now, you'll see on this first one that it has kind of that mottled effect, and this was because two things we found with this. Number one, the coffee was getting cooler. You have to kind of, if you want it to be, if you want your papers to always come out the same, you need to make sure that if your coffee starts to cool off, you want to heat it up a little bit more before you proceed. The other thing we found out, which we didn't think about, is that the more you put the wax paper, the more pieces of wax paper you put into the dye bath, the coffee bath, the more wax remains in the coffee solution. So after a while, you start to see that you get a wax.
Deposits.
Yeah, you get wax deposits. That's the word I'm trying to find. So you're going to see, I hope you can see this on screen. Can they see that? You get these, this mottled effect. And that's caused by two things. The coffee's too cold, and there's too much wax now in the coffee solution. So if that starts to happen, you want to throw that batch out and get a new batch of hot coffee. Now, you can take this paper, even though it's mottled like this, stick it back in the new batch, and it'll even out. But this tells you that your coffee needs to be replaced. However, I don't really mind that look, but you know, if you want it to be even colored all the way over, that's what's happening, and that's what you want to do to fix it. Here's another one that happened to. Now this one, let's see, this is the one Debbie was doing. You rinsed this, right?
Yeah, I rinsed it out because I could see that there was a lot of buildup of wax. So I tried rinsing it, and it took some of the wax off, but it also took a lot of the color off. But it made it a nice color, I thought, too. I liked the color,
yeah.
So you could
And
work with it.
Another thing we like about this process is the feel of the paper and the crinkly sound of it, right? Yeah, it's really cool. You know, there really isn't a bummer in the bunch. I mean, you could still, still use this, and it actually gives it kind of that vintage feel because it does have that modeling. Okay, here's another one that we did. I think this is one of the first ones. Now this one we left in the this one we dipped. I think this was a dip. Yep. And left it in the water in the coffee for a little while. And when I say a little while, I wouldn't say we left them in there more than 3 minutes, maybe. The crumpled up ones we left for about 4 minutes, 4 or 5 at the max. Yeah. Anyway, so then we took it out, laid it down on the puppy pad, and blew it dry with the hairdryer. And you just flip it over, do one side, flip it over, and do the other side, and it dries really fast. And it's kind of cool because sometimes it leaves these places where you didn't really get a lot of coffee on it, and it makes this variegated feel to it. And I really like that. I think that looks really cool. All the papers were ironed afterwards.
In between a piece of parchment paper.
Yeah, in between parchment paper. One on the bottom and one on the top. And what temperature did you use?
High.
High? Yeah. So
you just, lightly iron it quickly. You don't have to press.
Yeah, you don't.
Long or...
You don't go over it for hours. It's just to get it to flatten out. But this almost looks like leather. This one.
Kind of feels
Doesn't it?
like it.
Yeah,
too.
it does. It has that same feel to it. Here's another one that we did. And this one came out lighter. We didn't leave it in the coffee as long. Now, this is not wax buildup. This is just where we had drips of coffee on it that we just left there and dried it and then pressed it. And this one came out. This one we didn't leave in the solution that long, so it didn't come out as dark, and we like that too. Yeah, but it's very transparent, and there's no wax feel to it at all.
Yeah.
Do you think? No, I don't either. It's got a great feel, and listen to the crinkle. Really cool. Now this one, this is not too much wax or anything. This is where we just kind of dabbed some coffee over the top of it, and to see what we could get. You could take this a lot farther and do it over the whole page, but these were all experiments. So we were just messing around with it to see what kind of a look and a feel we could get. And again, this one verges on the feel of leather.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. It's very lightweight and it's transparent. We'll show you in a little while how they look with something underneath them. But we were trying to get this feel, and these are actually shinier than the ones we got, but we like the not so shiny. But you can see it's very similar. So I guess we can show you once I get this from sticking to my arm, we can show you what we came up with. First thing we did was we took one of these little guys. They come in several sizes, but so we took them, opened them up, carefully opened them up, laid them out, and made templates out of cardstock and cut those out. We're going to have these in our shop, the templates, and they're not only good for this project that we're doing today, but these would make really cute envelopes either way, with regular cardstock or you know, digitals. So anyway, we made the patterns using the envelopes that we had, the originals, so that they would, you know, maintain the integrity of the original pieces that we were trying to make. So here's two that we made, and we just loved these. Doesn't this remind you of, these have been in Grandma's, you know, trunk up in the attic for years? That's what they reminded us of. And this is a cute one that Debbie did, and she was putting this together on this page and putting the little flowers on, and she glanced up and looked at the title on this page, Daisy's Ball. And we thought that was so cute. It reminds you of, you know, how, I don't know, maybe kids still do it today, I'm not sure, but back in the day, you'd go to the prom or something and you'd save, you know, your corsage or wrist corsage or something, and press it in between book pages to save. That's kind of what this reminds you of. But super cute and really neat to hold little treasures, you know, that you want to save. Or like on this one, we thought this would be cute, glued down to the page and used as a pocket, you know. Super cute. And then this one, we decided we'd see if we could print on it. And yes, you can. And so we have this little digital design, and so we printed it. We put a sheet of the wax paper on a piece of cardstock, and let's see, where is that? You see it over there? Yeah. Obviously, we're not too prepared today. Anyway, took a piece of cardstock, laid the wax paper on it, here on top of the cardstock, then took, you could use washi tape, you know, any masking tape, but we had painter's tape, so that's what we used, and we taped all around the edges so it would go through the printer okay, and it went through perfectly. And this is what we got, this cute little envelope with this little pattern, little calico pattern on it. And then we had some labels from one of the freebies that's in our coffee shop. We took those, and they were kind of not in the exact color. They were a little more craft colored. So we just took, well, I guess I had it here, but it's gone. We just took the ink in frayed burlap and went over it with one of the little texture brushes, and it gave it the exact color that you need to match these. So it worked out perfect. And then this one we just filled with, you know, little pieces of this and that we had that we thought we might like to save, and a little piece of jewelry that we had, little key, just little mementos, anything that you have that you might want to put in there. But how cute would these be tucked in the pocket of your journal? Super cute. And then we had these guys. We tried to figure out some different ways to use these. So Debbie came up with this really cute stuffed pocket. It's let's see, this has some piece. Most of the pieces that you see here are in our members only shop. In other words, the people that are in our membership program over on Ko-fi, this is the freebie for this month in there. So we put this little tag together, or Debbie did, and she filled it with the little labels and stuff, which made it really cute. And this is just the same little envelope that you see here. Yeah, if I can pick it up. That you see here, just glued onto the tag. And then she added a little butterfly, which was super cute. Now, the glue that we used on these is the glitter glue, and it works perfect. You don't see any lines or anything. Here it is again. This is all done with glitter glue, and there's no glue showing anywhere. So that's the perfect glue to use on these. Here's another one, and here she put stamps in because it's kind of apropos. That's what it actually is. But look how, excuse me, look how vintage and cute that thing is. And we liked it because the more you mess with this paper, the more vintage it looks. It gets such a great antique feel to it. So super cute. And then we had some little scraps of the wax paper left over. So here we just made a little pocket, stamped on the front of it, and attached it to another tag that we had, and then just filled it with a little piece of scrap paper. You could, you know, journal, secret little journal spot here. But cute. And just finished it off, made a cute tag out of it. And here's another little envelope, and you can also, as you saw from that last piece we just showed, you could stamp, and it takes stamping and ink really well. So here we just did a little bird in the corner, and then just added some little ephemera pieces to the inside, a couple little tags that we had, or labels, I mean. Here's a little fabric label and a little piece of book page. So you can make some really cute accent pieces for your journal with these. Really cute. And I guess, gee, is that the end of it? So what we're going to do is we're going to put the two templates in a set, and we'll have this paper, the patterned paper. Now we're going to put it in the kit as a PNG so that it has a transparent background, so you could print it right on any of your papers and not have to worry about taking the background off. So you're just going to get the little rose pattern on there. Now if you don't have a digital art program that you can use a PNG in, you can also print this out on any paper you want, like any colored paper, and you'll have this same pattern. It'll just be on the colored paper that you printed it out on. I hope that makes sense. But anyway, so anyway, that paper, not the envelope, but the whole sheet of paper will be, or the digital design, I'm sorry, will be in the kit. These two, there's a whole sheet of different colored butterflies. There'll be an assortment of stamps, and these will be part of them. That'll be in there. And probably a few other things, some labels. But anyway, by the time you see this video, they'll be in the shop. They'll be in both our Etsy shop and our Ko-fi shop. So you can download them there. But there won't be any physical items, just all digitals, so that you can make your own envelopes and kits with that. So I guess that's all we have to share today. Except we apologize for the air conditioning noise through this video, but it's so hot today that the air conditioner is hardly keeping it cool in the house, and we cannot turn it off. Our family would be banging on the door. So we apologize for the noise. But anyway, thanks for stopping by.